Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Richgrl Real Talk, where the vibe is elevation and joy. I'm your host, Erica Rich, and I'm so happy that you are with me today. For those that are new, welcome. And for those that are my returning RGRT riders, I appreciate you being along on this journey with me. For the record, this is the season finale for season one of Rich Girl Real Talk. Yay! God has blessed me to just be able to just walk up to this point and say, I humbly say, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And especially to those that have been a part of this journey with me, listening to me, encouraging me, saying, just keep going. You're doing a great job. And, just being a part of the journey with me. I really appreciate every bit of those things because it means so much to me. So, on this episode, I'm going to just talk about some of the wonderful things that I learned as I reflect on this season one. And the biggest thing I learned was that I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ. It's not just something that you say, but when you make it a revelation versus information, it's different. I mean, I look at everything that God has blessed me to do in this process, opening up about the things that used to keep me guarded, um, providing a source of love and inspiration to those that I don't even know, but also can hear it and say, okay, God, I could do this too, or I'm not alone in this journey. And that empowerment, that strength, that love, and all those things came from God. And sometimes people are waiting, God is waiting to get you prepped and ready to execute your mission so that when somebody hears your word, that they are blessed and that they are inspired and that they become so inspired that it helps them and it ignites something in them to continue to press towards their mark or do something different, dare to walk by faith. So again, that was one big big learning lesson and gym that I received starting this podcast. Also, the fact of just being real with who I am, meaning like not trying to be buttoned up about how I'm perceived. Just being able to walk in who God authentically made me to be is so important in this life. Because God can't bless the mask. He wants to bless you. And so I'm not saying that I was living with a facade, but I definitely was scared and I didn't want to be judged for some of the thoughts that I had, some of the past traumas and triggers that I've had. But then I recognized that as long as God has forgiven me and given me the resources to keep going and to trust Him, all the other stuff is irrelevant. Yes, my flesh will always feel a little bit of a way, but God has allowed this opportunity to make me empowered by my walk in Him, knowing that I don't need to worry about their judgments because judgment and vengeance belongs to God. I just need to continue to keep speaking and testifying about God's goodness and how God can pivot and transform things if we allow Him to do so, versus trying to hold on to it. Set ourselves free. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. It also allowed me to tap into just life and things that make me excited about life, reminding myself who I am and everything that I knew I wanted to be and knew that I had the audacity at a younger age to be. But then, of course, when life happens, it's like, well, I'm scared to make certain decisions because I'm afraid of this or that. But as long as I was walking the path that God had for me, I couldn't, I didn't have to worry about those things. And that's something I learned too, is to just start actively relinquishing myself from the negative self talk and continue to just be who I knew God had formed me to be, and to allow me to be, as long as I allowed Him to be the Lord of my life. I also know that there is times where I learned so much about my own siblings, like, just being able to talk to my sisters. I can't wait to get more family members and more friends on my pod in the next season, because it's really great to just have those conversations, those real conversations about life and about what it is that makes us tick, and what continues to fuel us. What is the incentives that keep us uh, encouraged and energized to keep walking towards our own individual lanes. Seeing and witnessing all the greatness that's happening, when it comes to what's going on in the movies and what's going on in the social medias you know, of the culture, the movement, and also just thinking about, in our own lives, seeing the queens and the kings in my own life being able to flourish and do things that, you know, our ancestors were scared to do, because they didn't have the freedom to really say, let's try this. They felt like they had to work, they had to build, versus being able to be creative in that building. you know and I won't say all of our ancestors didn't feel that way, but I know that we come from a lineage as people of African descent that are born in America, and that were a part of that moment in time of what it is now. Slave. What we know to be slavery, what we know to be, Juneteenth, what we know to be freedom, as we walk and as we soar to the things that God has allowed us to individually soar to. We definitely have a different journey, but our legacy looks so bright, y'all. We have a unique journey, but our legacy, our future looks so bright. We have so much potential to just keep going further and doing things we never thought we would do, being things that we never thought we would be, and not worried about will we die because we didn't do X, Y, or Z. I mean, there's things that we are still contending with, but there's so much more that we have been able to do with this gift of the present, with such a time as this. So again, just learning, tapping into, the wonderful individuals in our lives, giving our people, our family members, our friends, their just due flowers. Being able to recognize all that we have been called to do, all that we've been called to be, and all the people in our lives, what their purpose was and will be. For some that are new, to just continue to see that, be determined. But there's just an infinite possibilities, but just being able to have those moments with our loved ones, being able to converse with people in their lives, and being open and vulnerable about the real talk. Pun intended. So, my hopes for this new season, once I get settled, because of course I am shutting down this season so that I could take a break, so that I could get more content and more information, so that I can be re-energized and make sure that I get my loved ones ready and situated for our next journeys. I just want to say that my hopes for season 2 is that we as a group, as a RGRT family, come with more, build more, soar to new heights, tackle new issues relevant to what's in the current space of our lives. Being able to walk and talk about that faith walk at a different level, at a higher level. My goal is to make this show better, and to make myself strive for more, but not in the sense that I want to be greedy, but just keep recognizing that there's more to do, more to say, more to experience, and more to share love and encouragement to you all with everything. My favorite episode, I would have to say, would be There's so many cool episodes. I really like the episode about talking to my 10-year old me because that was a very real moment in my life, and I hope that it was great content for you guys to be able to recognize that we all come from something and that we all have gone through something, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. So, talking to my 10-year old me, just being able to have those real conversations and break myself from those those walls, that shame, that sadness. I really enjoyed that episode. I really enjoyed the episode with conversing with both of my sisters. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. We had so much fun, and I just can't wait to converse with them even more about more of the wonderful ventures, business wise, that they have coming up, and just, just soaring in different ways with them and building that love and building that rapport with them even more because I had so much fun, especially just talking about my sister being able to have a thriving business and for her to be able to get over 1 million views for her some of her recipes that she's been putting on TikTok. So shout out to Beauty Food, Booty. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Beauty Food. And shout out to China Doll, my sister Aisha, who we talked about Sexy Ever After, and just having the real conversation about regaining our sense of self and our sense of sensuality, sexuality, and being all that God created us to be in every form and fashion as it pertains to, just post mommyhood, post marriage, and figuring out what that looks like. I loved it, and I can't wait to get her back on to talk about some wonderful information that she has about, banking and about home loans and all the wonderful assets that she can contribute to this real talk. I can't wait to talk to some more of my friends that are doing great things. Shout out to every guest that came on, y'all. Shout out to every individual that was able to, share their wealth of knowledge. Like I appreciate Constance for sharing her her very unique experience as a real estate agent and also just continuing to be mommy in every facet that she is. That was dope, and I appreciate her showing up for me. And I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to you all again for listening to me, for hearing me, hearing my perspective, giving me wonderful feedback. I can't express that and emphasize that enough because it definitely helped in times when I felt discouraged. Um, because you never know what, how, and what. But at the same time, I'm happy that as I've gotten to this point in this season of my life, and closing out season 1 of Rich Girl Real Talk, I recognize that I could walk in peace, know that when I put the stop button on, I can reflect and say, okay, wow, I said that or I did that, but I'm not going to allow this mistake or this fludge of a word to dictate my day. I'm going to still walk in peace. There was a confidence that came from that. And I just want you to know that if you're thinking about doing something different, some place you want to go that you've never been, and you feel the urge the urgency to really tap into being and doing whatever it is that seems so left field to your norm, and God has been urging you and you've been praying about it, I want you to go for it. I want you to not think about it except for just saying, well, God, show me the way. So that thought is important. God, show me the way. God, lead me and guide me. Be my lamp and be my light. And He will do it. So that is my time. That is the end of season one. This is the end of season one. Oh my gosh, I feel like my baby's graduated. And off to more things. Off to off to new adventures. And then when we come back full of just things that, excuse me, full of ideas, full of wonderful life that has been lived, we will always come back better than we did. And that's how we should and ought to do. So just remember, you can lean on the Lord because all of the ways of the Lord are loving and faithful. He will be faithful. He will give you everything you need. And that's that on that, pussycats. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And just check out all of my episodes, all my previous episodes. And let me know what you think, in this time when this the end of the summer, the into the fall, we're tapping into some great things. I want you to recharge. That's what it's all about. We got to recharge so that we can be better, we can be brilliant, we can be amazing, because we can't do anything if our battery's depleted. There will be no juice, y'all. That's it. There will be no juice if we don't make sure that we take the necessary breaks. That's my time for this season. I love you, and there's nothing you could do about it. And I appreciate every bit of this journey that you walked with me in. And if you're new, I'd love for you to check out my previous episodes. Until we meet again, my friends, for another episode of Richgrl Real Talk. Bye for now.
Richgrl Real Talk.